Well, good morning, everyone. Hi, welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. And thank you for being with me this morning. So, if you are new to the channel, we create with our recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. And it's our way to give the earth a little hug. And if you're just coming back, thank you for coming back. So, as some of you know, we have been working on a project um, called the Chakra Meditation Blanket. And we just kind of been using it as a periodic way for us to just kind of intermittently stop for a few minutes and use the blanket to remind us of um, some reflection and meditation and positive things. And I really need this one today. And I'm going to tell you why. The news has really started to, I've noticed I've been a little, uh, not a little, but really, and probably for very good reason, of course, but really concerned about the news that I'm hearing. So, because of that, I think what we're going to do today is focus on this mandala, and I'm going to share it with you in a moment. And behind me, just for art, we really could call this a little bit of artisan welfare. You know what I mean? Like artisan health, healthy well-being, or something like that. But behind me are my finches. You can see a little movement there. They're very tiny, but they're kind of moving around. And I'm going to turn this music. I have the music on for them, but it's a little loud. So one of them is on his, I think that's Mashuki's, on his swing. He's much lighter than Umi. Umi, for those of you who remember when I got these birds, so they're both pretty much the same kind of gray brown, very, very just beautiful coloring. And Mashuki has gotten more of a chocolate brown with some white and beige. And Umi, the female, is getting more and more of a white gray. Very, very, very pretty. They make a very quiet sound. Their song is very quiet and very soothing and just lovely to listen to. So with that, I have just want to say to you, I have a bunch of granny squares, and so those granny squares I'll be sharing with you. I have a course upcoming, and we'll be sharing those after the course. What I've been doing sometimes is just before the course sharing, but we've got the course pretty well. I believe it's full, if I'm not mistaken, but it may not be. And if you're interested in learning about the granny squares, give them a call. I mean, especially, if you're in Vermont or you're coming through Vermont, we'd love to have you. We have fun in the class. I mean, the classes, I do kind of pack it with information because for people learning whatever it is, and lately it's been on needle felting, you want to give them the skills that they can use when they leave. You don't want them, and so I try to answer questions they may not think of at that moment, and then I present that in class. And then, of course, they have their own questions in the class. So we have a really knowledge-filled class, you might say, for the amount of time. The workshops are usually an hour and a half. This particular workshop with the granny square, it's 2 hours. And the reason it's 2 hours is we may get someone in there who's not sure um, or familiar with how to do the double crochet stitch. So with that said, it's or somebody who's never has never done they're just like very new to crocheting. So good morning. How are you this morning? So here I'm sipping my coffee. I'll probably have to sip it as we move on here. Now I picked I got all of my yarn out yesterday, and I feel like I don't have, I feel like I need more yarn. I always feel like I need more yarn, guys, but probably don't. I had got a bunch of these. This is beautiful yarn. It's acrylic, but look at the color. It's a beautiful teal. So I'm going to use that in the mandala this morning. And then so this is medium weight. And let's see, who's that? Hope and Lakers. Hi, guys. How are you this morning? I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're having a beautiful day and doing everything that makes you happy today. Because you never know about tomorrow, right? Okay, so not to be morbid in a fun kind of a way. So this is the red I picked. It's a lightweight. And this I already got going on it, and I'm going to tell you why. I didn't want you to have to sit here and watch me do double crochets. So hi Jay Haas. Hi Josh. So I know, right? Right? Look. Now, we're just going to review for those of you who are really interested, and this is what it's all about. This is for a mandala for our chakra meditation blanket. And yeah, so you know what I'm going to tell you about this, Josh. We're going to start with the teal then. So the teal in the chakra it's your heart area. Compassion. It's when you're meditating on compassion, understanding, being kind. These are qualities, these are things that people just are getting more and more away from. Why are they getting away from it? Because the world in general is expressing, exuding, sending vibes of coldness, and not happiness, not goodness, not compassion. So the teal in the chakra, and the chakra colors are this: the red for safety, advocacy, and protection; orange for inspiration, creativity, I guess you could say motivation, but inspiration, innovation. And your yellow, which is this one that I started for just the beginning of it. And you can see I worked in the back stitches to get the little ridge. That's how you get the ridge. You don't go like in your whole space. You go into the stitch. That's how you get your ridge. So yellow is empowerment, enlightenment. It's that spiritual aspect of us, of coming alive. And thank you. Thank you. And yeah, it's coming alive. And so that's empowerment. That's your yellow solar plexus. You can see I'm wearing yellow today. And I love yellow. And yellow is, I just even when you put on a bright color, that it does something with your mood. That is an absolute fact. As I'm talking, the sun is shining more and more and more, by the way. We haven't had any sun, so let it come on in. But that's why I said, well, I'm going to come over this way and not be right in the sun, and so you could see me. Now, the birds, what I need to do, because the sun is coming in, what I want to do is turn them. So I'm just going to tell you this, and then we're going to start crocheting. So the yellow is enlightenment, and then the teal, which Josh was saying, that falls in the area of green. Okay, any of the varying colors of green is compassion, understanding, and love. And that is what we're so lacking in this world. So, and the throat is light blue, which I also have that on. And that is the light blue is, it's in alignment, it's speaking in alignment with your spiritual self. So it's truth. You're speaking truth. And then the indigo up here are your visions and your dreams and all of that. Oh, they're taking their bath. I can't move them now. We'll just leave them. They'll be okay. So, okay, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to start with the green. Now, the thing about this is, let me think here for a moment. I want to do the treble and I want to do puff. Okay, I want to do the puff. I feel like I want to do the puff with this teal. So, and then go into the treble. This is what I wanted to share with you the other day. This is going to be a large, we're going to clip this here because we're going to switch colors. This is going to be a large mandala. What I decided to do was make a larger mandala because it's only going to be about 35 inches, guys. So I'm making a 35-inch blanket, and I'm like, I want to keep the small ones I have, but I want to make a few larger mandalas. So this will be of that. This is the beginning of that. So we're going to go ahead. Now, this is kind of the way I was hesitating, because when I make the puff stitch right now, what it's going to do, in essence, it's going to change. And to do the puff stitch, by the way, I'm just going to go in the space, the stitch space, the whole space, okay? And I'm not doing any counting. I'm just not doing any counting. So when you do the puff, you're going to see a change in the tension. It just is. It's going to pull it a little tighter in. So what you saw me do is get 3 puffs together, and now I'm connecting. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I did. So I feel like I'd like to, yeah, I'm just going to try not to do a stitch between them right now. So you're going to wrap the yarn around. This is how I do puff stitch. Wrap the yarn around, put it through your space, pull your yarn up around on your hook. Okay? Wrap your yarn around again, put your hook through, pull it up again. And guess what? You're just simply going to repeat that one more time. Now guess what? You could do that as many times as you want. When you are complete with how many times you want to do a set of pulling the yarn up, we're going to do this again. Wrap the yarn around and just pull it through like that and connect. Okay, that's a puff stitch. You can make these puff stitches like 5, 6, I mean, you know, as large as you want. And I need to sip my coffee. Does anybody have any questions out there? Has anyone out there done a puff stitch? You can do whole blankets in puff stitch, hats and all puff stitch. You don't need to use it as just a decorative stitch. You can use the puff stitch to make whatever it is you want to make. Thank you for being with me, guys. You know, we made it to over 2,000 subscribers. I'm so grateful to you for that. I'm trying to get to where we could do polls, because I really want to get opinions from you on various things as we go forward in the art world. Okay. So, for the art, I'm going to just tell you specifically for the arts and crafters, we really want to know what you like. Okay. So, you put the yarn, now I'm not doing any chain. Put the yarn around. I could do a chain, but I'm not. Pull the yarn up over your hook, wrap the yarn around again, put it through, pull it up. Wrap it again, pull it through, pull it up. When you're done, wrap it around and slip stitch it. So I am doing 3 sets of this. Here's 1, 2, 3. You see how simple that stitch is, guys? Do you get what I'm doing? So I'm just going to we're going to go all the way around. Now the thing with the puff stitch, which I kind of didn't emphasize, is you want to give it height, okay? Because if you do not give it height, well, let me put it this way. It depends on you to pull it up and give it height. Because if you don't give it height, um, it it will be small. You could you could intentionally make it small. But this is a lovely stitch. Okay, now there's other stitches that are similar to it that the next mandala that we do, we're going to have some new stitches for you. So, because I know some of you have seen this puff stitch. Now, if you're scrolling and you're like, well, what are you doing? I'm going to show you for those of you. Just look how pretty that is, guys. Very, very pretty. So, the puff stitch is used in the sunburst granny square. Oh, and we're going to be doing some other granny squares. And they're going to be granny squares that I'm not covering in the class. We've got this class is the 12th, by the way, which is next Thursday. And in that class, we're making just the traditional granny squares. And then in the next class, we'll be putting together some, whatever it is that the artisans want to make with their granny squares. I will be bringing in about a half a dozen items that I've made and or am making with the granny squares. So I have a number of them. I am making some things behind the scenes that I will share with you after the class. And they're really cutesy and quite adorable. Super simple. I'm picking simple projects to share with this particular class because some of them have experience making the granny squares, but they don't know how to put them together. And some of them just want to know how to make the granny squares. So I will be sharing with them multiple ways that they can put a granny square together and what they can do with it. So, but we're going to keep it on a scale that's doable. So something that I will be sharing with you on this channel is I'm going to be picking, it's not going to be the traditional granny square, but I'm going to be picking one of my favorite granny square designs, and we're going to put together either a skirt or pants. Now, the skirt I know I'm going to wear. So the pants, I'll probably wear the pants. However, I am thinking for me, I want to make the the pants in a cotton, so I've got to get cottons. I don't want acrylic against my skin. I don't want the angora or wool against my skin. I'm not going to line the pants. Now, I did see something, by the way, for you crocheters out there, and I would like to try this, is they're taking the granny squares, and you've probably done this. I've thought of it, but I haven't done it, so I want to do it. Oh, look, I accidentally only did two, so you can see the difference. So let me do that again. That's because I'm talking. But they took the granny squares and they put them directly on a pair of pants already made. I mean, that's an idea. Okay, so for those of you scrolling, the way you do a puff, we're not doing any chains between these particular puffs. This is not a pattern. This is, by the way, as my viewer has taught me, intuitive crochet. And as I've called it my whole life, creative crochet, but I am loving the word intuitive. So you wrap the yarn around your hook, put it through your space, your stitch space, pull the yarn up on your hook. Don't do anything now. except wrap the yarn around again, pull the yarn up around your hook again, wrap it around again, pull it up again. Okay, this is how you do the puff stitch. When you're ready to connect, wrap the yarn around one more time, pull it all the way through all your stitches, and slip stitch it. Boom, there's your puff stitch. Super easy, isn't it lovely, guys? It's just such a fun stitch. So we're just going to do a round of this, and we're almost done with the round. And oops, yeah, I did get that. Okay, so the only thing I would say that, let me just say this. Can you use mandalas to, can you use this type of mandala, like make it larger, make it a wall piece as a meditation piece with all of your chakra colors? Absolutely. So the green, as we were talking, and now I'd just like to talk a little about meditation on the last, the second half of this. So the green, I may say something like, help me to, for me, I pray. Okay, so for whatever you do, I pray to Jesus. And yes, you're like, you use the chakra to pray to Jesus. I do. I do. I use it as a guideline for my heart meditation and reflection. And I will tell you, as an artist, when I meditate, I get so, I don't know how it happens, I get so inspired on something. But I pray to be compassionate. I'm praying for our nation to be more compassionate. Our nation is losing its compass of its heart. The heart is your compass. The heart is my compass, and I don't want to lose touch with it, people. I don't. And you know, I've had days where I have felt numb, or I have felt just so discouraged by the difficulties that we just in general, we all, so many of us are encountering. So, and I have felt like, as an art, you know, artists struggle. Look, let's be real. Artists struggle. Now, there may be some artists who are in good, really good financial, and it always falls down onto the financial, but they may be in good financial situations. And when that occurs, they get automatically some really good backing, they get good networking, and it's a blessing and it's good. And we want to be happy for our artists and friends who are like that. But I say, any leverage that I have, which is not the greatest, but any leverage that I have, I'm going to share with my fellow artisan. I met a lady in the store the other day, the sweetest thing on the face of this earth. So she was probably 20 years my senior, so she's probably in her 80s. Lovely, lovely. And she said she crocheted her whole life. And you know, I want to interview more artists, but because their lives are so interesting. But she crocheted her whole life, and she didn't know about our group over, or our class coming up over at River Arts. And so I told her, I said, come on over and join us. I says, they have a financial backing if you need it. And that's what they're there for, to help the community learn. So she didn't know about it. She was just the happiest. And what made this conversation happen is I was carrying, because I go shopping with my granny square bag, one of my bags that I made. And let me tell you, that bag is holding up. That's a testimony to how strong the granny square bags can be when you line them. You do need to line them, because if you don't, anything like in the crochet, it's going to stretch. But I've used it multiple times. It's still very pretty. I was afraid it would get dirty. But anyway, many artists, you have artists all across the economic social arena. You just do it. But many struggle. Like they're just trying to make a few bucks, and maybe some of them have found a way to kind of make a little money consistently that pays for some groceries, maybe once a month or twice a month, or helps on little things. And that's usually the degree of an artist. Now, some artists, I've met artists who have figured out a way to make thousands a year. And they do it. The thing about art is it's a reflection of the passion within us as an artist, okay? If I find someone doing art that's too corporate and too cookie cutter, I'm not drawn to it. I really want to see something that is telling me you're enjoying creating what you're doing. And I like it to be earth friendly, like this, like these are recycled. Look how pretty, guys. So this is, yeah. So I meditate on having more compassion, and at the same time being a prayer warrior for our world as much as I can, our nation as it stands, needing prayer, needing compassion, needing understanding. And you know what comes with that? Forgiveness. So green encompasses so much, but forgiveness and gratitude, compassion and love are the words you're going to hear, are the concepts for green. Okay, so that's green. That's lovely. I love it. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can kind of just connect it down here and just tie it off. Or you can leave this tail and just attach the next stitch with the color of what you're doing. So I'm going to leave it. Okay, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. So we're going to attach it. And I hope I made that long enough. If I didn't, so a couple of tips for you. If you didn't make it long enough, let's say you try to go and do your next stitch and you're like, oh man, I didn't make it long enough. Just undo it and then just slip stitch it and attach it that way and then get your new yarn. You don't have to intertwine them. Okay. So the next stitch I'm doing, so this was puff stitch. So the next stitch I'm doing is, let me move this, is treble. We're going to do treble. And this is, the yarn I'm using is a pretty red. It's kind of falls on the side of a bright red. Almost, not yellow red, but right on the edge of that. So I'm just going, now I'm going to have tails here when I do this. So I'm just going to pull that through the whole stitch. And I just kind of want to get this down. So treble is, so I've kind of got it on there. Treble is, whoops. Okay, let's do this again. I'm trying to hold it up and do it. And so treble is this. You wrap 2 times around. You're going to pull the yarn through, so that's where the red comes in, because I'm just doing the stitch. You're going to go around, pull through 2 times. You're going to go around, pull through 2 times. You're going to go around, pull through 2 times. We're going to do this again and again. The birds like the repetitive verbiage. So it looks like a silly treble, but that's the first treble. Now, some people are saying, what are you doing a first treble for? You should have done just chain 3. But that's how I do it. So I'm going to wrap around 2 times, and I'm going in my next stitch space. I'm pulling up, wrap around, pull through 2 times, pull through, wrap around, pull through 2 times, wrap around, pull through 2 times. Okay, wrap around 2 times, guys. Go in your next stitch space, pull it up, wrap around, pull through 2 times, wrap around, pull through 2 times, wrap around, pull through 2 times. They think I'm singing. So you hear them? You hear my little finches? So now this one, I'm just going to stop, and I'm just going to tie my tails for the moment, just because I want to make sure they're secure. So I'm just going to tie, and then I will be weaving them through later. So I'm just going to tie, just so it doesn't fuss with me too much. I'm just going to clip it a tad because they're really long. Okay. So this is our treble. Now let's see. And you're like, well, that doesn't look that great. It doesn't yet, but it will. It will. And this is going to give us a little length on our mandala. Now it is a totally different yarn weight, so that's going to be noticeable, but let's see how it comes out. I love to experiment like this. So wrap around 2 times your hook, put your hook through your next stitch space, pull your yarn up on your hook, wrap around, pull through 2 times, wrap around, pull through 2 times, wrap around, pull through 2. I should say 2. Okay, wrap around 2 times. That's the first thing you're going to do. 2 is the magic word for treble. Go through your stitch space, pull up, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. The thing is, and I always do this, I start making them longer and longer. So I'm going to pay attention to my stitches. And once we get the stitch, then we're going to focus on meditation for red. The red chakra is safety, protection, advocacy. That's a big one today. So wrap around 2 times, guys. Pull your yarn up. Be careful of your tension. I'm being careful of it now because I think I was pulling up too far. And wrap around. Pull through. Whoops, sorry. Let's do that again because that kind of came off. So wrap around 2 times. Go through your next stitch space. Pull up 1. Wrap around, pull through 2. Wrap around, pull through 2. Wrap around, pull through your final 2. Wrap around 2 times, go through your next stitch space, pull up, wrap around, pull through 2. Every time you wrap, you pull your yarn around, you're pulling through 2. That's your magic number. Wrap around your yarn, your hook 2 times. Go through your stitch space, pull up your yarn on your hook. Wrap around your yarn, pull it through 2. Wrap around your yarn again on your hook, pull it through 2. Wrap around your yarn again, pull it through the final 2. Wrap around 2, go through your space, pull it up, pull it through 2, wrap around, pull it through 2, wrap around, pull it through. So you see? So we're going to get a better picture of what this looks like. So I'm going to do a few. And whoops, this is the see what I did? I did, because we want to wrap around once. We don't want to wrap around twice. But with treble, you wrap around twice, okay? I almost made the mistake of wrapping around once. And then once you do that, once you pull it up, the concept is this. You're wrapping it around and pulling it through 2 each time. That's the conceptual. That's the concept of the treble, is you're making it longer and longer. You want to make the treble gives you a length, gives you height to whatever it is you're crocheting. And you notice I'm not doing chains in between. And I'm not, because it's giving us height already. Okay, so the meditation part of this, if you have questions on this stitch, let me know. I'm happy to answer. It's a really quick stitch. Now here, it seems to be tightening a little. You see that? So what I'm going to do is put a chain in between the trebles for maybe every 3 till we get to the end, to give it, it needs, when it starts to curl, unless that's what you want, that means it's too tight. So you want to give it another stitch. So we're just going to give it 1 stitch. And then we're going to continue our trebles. So the red is a meditative, the red is protection and safety. And typically what I might say is, I have the right to be safe. That's typically what I say. Even before all this stuff in our society was going on, I say I have the right to be safe and to feel safe. And others have the right to, I'm forgetting what I'm doing here talking, and others have the right to be safe and feel safe. For me now, something new I've added in my meditation is, please have it be on my heart that if someone is in distress or fear, that I know how to help them. So, I kind of just craft it to what it is that is on my heart, in my life. And so I don't just say a generic, like meditation or mantra. I say what's specific to me. And I know a lot of people do that, but some people don't. Some people are not sure even how to attempt their meditation. But it's basically talking like about what's on your heart. It's thinking what's on your heart and kind of moving in that direction and looking for the strength and energy to move in that direction. So, yeah, I've always been an advocate for others, maybe way better for them than I've been for myself. And that's just who I am. It's just kind of automatic, and just the way I am. So I pray that that part of me stays strong, and that's something I want to see in our America, in our nation, again, is helping others feel safe as a community and a society. And so that's red. Red chakra is like way down in the pelvis area. That's like the first color. So you see this is flattening out now better, but I am going to keep putting the chain in between these because it does need it. And I do like, let's see how that's coming out. That is coming out. Okay. And yeah, I do like that. And okay, so I'm going to put a chain here. And this particular stitch, I think what the thing about the treble, when I did the wall hanging, I don't know if some of you saw that, Did you see the wall hanging of the owl? So when I did that, I was doing the treble, I was doing the Tunisian crochet, and whoops, forgot to wrap that around. See, you can forget, But you know, the thing about the treble, it's so forgiving, because if you do forget to pull through two, it's still going to get height. But yeah, you want to remember to wrap it around twice, pull it through 2 times, and it will become automatic to you as you go. So with the treble, for those of you who are scrolling, let's go over the treble again. So you're wrapping the yarn around your hook twice. That's the very first thing you're doing. Going through your stitch space, pulling your yarn up, or wrapping around, pulling through two, or wrap around again, pull through two again, or wrap around again and pull through two. That is what gives you the height. The key is to wrap around. Whoops, I have to make a stitch first. We are doing a stitch, a chain between them. And we're doing it because for those of you just joining us, it was starting to curl, which means tighten. It was starting to tighten. So we were putting a chain between our trebles. I didn't think it would need a chain because of the height, but the width of the puffs are pretty good. In other words, there's a lot of width there. So, because it's a wide stitch, right? So because of that, that's why it started to pull, because there was just too much space between the trebles. Now, a treble is not the same as a some people I think some people get confused with double crochet clusters. I've heard the term treble used in that, and so they're totally not the same. Okay, oh, maybe we could do a double crochet cluster. You want to do that for the next, to start the next round. I want this mandala to be large, and I want the chakra colors to be speaking out. I'm loving this red. You know, red in general is like kind of a power color. And when you think about it, it takes a lot of strength for you to, or for people in general, to be brave, because you need to be brave if you're standing up for another person. You need to be brave and courageous if you're standing up for yourself. And just in general nowadays, I feel like we need to put on our prayer armor and our safety armor, which is our mindset, in my opinion, our mindset, our spirituality, our goodness, and being aware of our rights and all of that. Okay, so we're at the end of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mandala coming together. So I come to the end of it and I'm like, should I do another row? So you can see here, this is where it tightened up a little bit, and it loosened a little, and you can see these. See, when you get these, the little ripples, I love that. Okay, you know why that's happening? Because we have a lot of puffs. If you're going by a pattern and you do kind of like skip a space or whatever, then and you want to maintain the flatness. But I don't. I like to explore. I like to see the effect. And that's how I learn. I'm like, and I'll remember that, and almost no pun intended, but intuitively. So, and then I also know if I don't want that, that I can continue. Well, hello, Omi. Did I not say hello to you this morning? Hi, honeys. So they want me to turn them so they can be towards the sun. So I'm going to do that. And then in the next round, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do, let me see, do I have any other? I think we'll go back to, or you know what, we'll use the red. We'll stay with the red and we'll go to a double crochet cluster, which I'm not fond of, but I do want to show you. It is pretty, but I want to show you what the difference is because we just did a treble. So let me just turn these little guys. Hold on a second. And I'm going to turn them, put the light off. Hello, guys. How are you? I'm going to turn you around so you get some sun. Yeah, we're just going to turn you around. You can still see me. You can still see me. There you go. And I'm going to put this light off, guys. And I'm going to do one more thing. Oh, look at my typical artist buttoned my shirt wrong. It's kind of funny. Okay, so I'm going to heat up my coffee for a minute and get a cough drop so we can keep going here. I don't have much coffee left. I have to make a new cup. So I laugh at my blouse being buttoned the wrong. It's something I've been doing my whole life. It's because I had so much on my mind, this project, and wanting to jump on here and share with you. Anyway, guys. Okay, so what we're going to do is and if you have questions on this, if you're working along with me, we're going to start out slow, and we'll just stay on the chakra color red. Okay. So I'm just going to do, I'm going to do a chain 2. Okay. I'm going to stay with the same size crochet hook. I am using an 11, by the way. And I'm just going to start my my double crochet like I would, but I'm not completing it. Okay, I'm not completing it. And I'm essentially doing 3 double crochets. So I think I did that wrong. Hold on one second. So you're going to pull it up, pull it through, pull it up, pull it through, pull it up, and you want to wrap it around. That's what I forgot to do. And pull it through, all of them. Do a chain. We're going to do 2 chains. Wrap around like you're going to make your double crochet. Just the first stitch, okay? And then you're going to wrap it around again, pull it up like you're doing your double crochet. Pull it through 2, and then you're going to wrap it around again, pull it up. You're essentially making your double crochets, but just not completing them. And that is how you do the double crochet cluster. It is that simple. You're just doing your double crochets, you're not completing them until you get to the very end. And right now I'm chaining 2 between them. That's how I'm doing it. Okay, so it's just making a double crochet, pull through 2, make another double crochet, pull through 2, make another double crochet, wrap the yarn around, and now just pull through all. Now, I asked on Google, is it incorrect if you are first putting the hook through, and I've said this before on this channel, for a single crochet or whatever stitch you're doing, basically, is it incorrect if you put the yarn over, or if you put the yarn over first, or go in without putting the yarn over and then pulling it through? It's going to make a difference on some stitches, but basically if you're doing the inverse, because I'm dyslexic and I may sometimes do a stitch completely backwards, it's not wrong. You know why? Google says it's not wrong, because if you're consistent with that stitch, that's the stitch. It's a stitch. Now, it may not be, let's say, politically correct in its name you may think you're using, or crocheting, but I wanted to share that with you, because it does happen with people who are like they're left-handed or right-handed, and they're having a problem with you know, how to put the stitch, when, like, if they should wrap the yarn around or not, or put it through first without wrapping the yarn around. It makes a difference for some people. So the treble is just that. I'm just going to put an extra stitch there. You're doing your double crochet. For those of you who are scrolling, you're not completing that double crochet right there. You're just doing your double crochet, and you're doing another double crochet, and you're doing your third double crochet. On your third double crochet, or unless you're doing 4, but on the third, I do the third, because on the 4, I always think it's just too much. You know, I feel like it's too wide. It's too much. And it takes too long. So I always do 3 double crochet cluster. That's how I do those. It is pretty. I mean, it, so anyway, this is how I'm going along. I just wanted to get on here and share with you that these, making your mandala, there's so many ways that you can do this. And my favorite stitch is the puff stitch. But this is going to be lovely going around. Let me just hold that up. Okay. Can anybody else think of a meditation, maybe you could say, or word or concept for the artist in their world of creating, to use the chakra meditation to for their mandala? Anything you want to share on that? Oops, I almost did that 2 times there. Now, this is something else you could do. You could switch stitches. So, somebody asked this, can you switch stitches in the middle of a round? Yes. However, it's going to change the height, possibly, and the symmetry of your, whatever you're doing in the rounds or your rows, unless you're doing a creative piece, you don't care about that. Hodgepodge is a technique that they use where they switch. stitches and colors, and a lot of times there's texture, and I just love it. But double crochet clusters are not my favorite. They're just I like the look of the 3 double crochet clusters in a row, and it's just prettier to me. Whoops. This one I did wrong. Sometimes you do them wrong if you're talking. And the height, too, is the other thing you want to kind of be aware of for your double crochet cluster, is the height. So you just, like you're making your double crochet like you normally would, and but you're just not completing it. And then you do that 3 times, that's all. And if you think like that, then you've got it. So we're going to make, like, we're doing a double crochet, but we didn't complete it. Again, we didn't complete it. Now we complete it. Okay? Double crochet cluster. You're making a double crochet, don't complete it. Hold on, this keeps, let me get a bunch of yarn here. I am doing 3. I'm not doing 4. Okay, so I'm going to wrap around again, go up, pull through 2. Close it. I'm making a double crochet, but I'm not completing the whole stitch. I am having a problem with the height because, hold on a second, this keeps pulling on me. It's really ruining my height. I don't know. It seems like I'm unraveling a lot, but I guess I'm going through a lot too. You know, I do like the idea of the skeins that they have now that just kind of unravel really easily, but those are like, if you go buy them in the store, I'm getting the recycled ones here. So I'm forgetting my stitch too in between. I want to do a chain in between. So you do your double crochet, pull through 2. You're not finishing it. Do your double crochet, pull through 2. Do your double crochet, wrap around at the end, and pull through the whole thing. So do a double crochet, pull through 2. Double crochet, pull through 2. Double crochet, pull through all of them. Wrap around. Chain. Look how pretty that is coming out. And I do personally like these ripple effects there. I love this. Now, you're probably thinking, well, I don't like that. So what you would do is just make sure that you have some chain or space. You probably want to put a chain in space between the puffs, because this is happening because there's just a bunch of them in other words, it's like excessive. There's almost too many. It's like, you know, that's this, how you get ripples is, let's say I took a stitch and I put 5, let's say I put 5 stitches in 5 double crochets in one stitch. If you kept doing that, you'd get all ripples. I'll show you how to do that at very soon. We'll do that. We'll do that probably on this. So anyway, with this is what your double crochet cluster is. It's just really not finishing your a double crochet. It's making a double crochet and halfway, and then when you're on your last one, pull it all the way through. And I'm putting chains between, and that's all you do. Whoops. So I hope that that helps you a little bit today. And the main thing is this: for your mandala, whatever it is that you're doing, it's yours. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a reflection of you. It's your energy, it's your work, it's your meditation, it's the colors. Like someone was on here earlier, and he's saying, I'm drawn to the teal. I'm drawn to the teal. So I do believe that our energy does draw us to, you know, certain colors, and that may speak to where we're at today, in our artistry, and what we want to work with, what feels good for us to work with. So anyway, I don't know if you have any questions, but the to wrap this up with the double crochet or the clusters, it's just doing the stitches and pulling them together at the end. So you could do 3 double crochet for a cluster. You could do 2, and 2 might just be easier for you to start. You don't have to start with 4. They many times have, the patterns will say, you know, cluster 4 double crochet. Well, it is a cluster, but whoops, I gotta put my chain. It is a cluster, but when you do your separate double crochets and you're doing 3 or 4 of them, that is not a cluster. That's like just a set of double crochets. So that's just a difference that I learned along the way, because I really did think 3 separate double crochets in a row was a cluster. That's why I don't like patterns, guys. I don't. I can muddle through it. I can even write a pattern. I can write a pattern better than I can follow someone else's, because they stay with the very generic way of well, some of them do use verbiage, but the ones that stay with the generic way of, you know, loop this up, or you know, connect this, and they're not really telling you how to connect and this and that. For me, that bothers me. I would like to, because I've seen YouTubers, like, they'll connect something, and it's like in a totally different way that I'm not familiar with, and so I just find that very interesting. So just make your double crochets just like you would. The only thing is you're not finishing it, that's all. And maybe just start with a 2. Because with 2, it gives you a chance to see how that first one is just unfinished, and then you get to finish the next one. Okay, so that's a nice way to kind of orient yourself to a double crochet cluster. Is just create your own. So we're almost done with this row. Let's finish this row together. And does anybody have any meditation comments that you want to share or anything? Are you making mandalas out there, guys? So let's talk about the mandala for a moment. I have a book I really wish I could share with you. You can't share the books. You cannot share the books here on YouTube. You can't. And because I don't know why I can share my book. I'm gonna have to write a book and share. So I have a book to on this. So I have a book to share. Anyway, mandalas have an ancient history, historically been made to meditate on the energy. And yeah, maybe it is chakra, maybe it's something else, some ancient meditation we don't know of. But what they would do historically is make the mandalas, as many of you may know, out of sand, and make the sand pictures or the mandalas out of sand. So in doing that, they would, at the end of it, wipe it away. And the reason they did that is because they wanted to emphasize, I read this in my book, they wanted to emphasize that the mandala represented how temporary everything is. Everything is constantly moving and changing, right? This is why I love mandalas. But because they're so deep, there's so much information about them, and there's so many different types of them with symbols in them that represent. We're going to do a video specifically on mandalas, not necessarily the crochet mandalas, the mandalas, like pictorial mandalas. I really want to share some things with you, and I can't do it right now because there's so much. I need reference to talk to you about it. But the so the mandala has all these different symbols in it, and it represents primarily how quickly things move and how temporary just everything is, and life is, and it is, right? And that's why I want to live my very best every single second. I want to give it all my energy every second of the day. I want to be good to people. I want to do the little acts of kindness that may make a big difference, or may not be noticed, but that the universe, the universal energy notices, because the universe does know and responds to your really good energy, just as it does, unfortunately, to negative energy, right? So, okay, we did this cluster. And what was the next thing I said I was going to do, guys? So, okay, I'm loving this. I do like the clusters going around the trebles. So I'm just going to, with this particular one, I'm just going to do a single crochet, and I'm going to slip knot it. I just want to cut it off for a moment because I want to take a look at this. Okay. So it's got the little ripplies in it. Now let's see how big this is right now. Oops. Okay, so this is, can't get a good hold of that. That's about a 16-inch diameter, and if we stretch it, it stretches to about 19. I mean, that's a good size. And I'm doing about a 35 inch. I mean, look, this is a lovely, you know, I think we're getting ready to actually lay this out with the other mandalas. So what I want to do with you right now is just, I want to start, let me put this down. I want to take this teal because I have enough of this. You always take a chance when you're exploring and doing your intuitive crochet. Is it going to come out the way I want, or is it going to do something funky? I mean, and you can, like, I knew the second I did these puffs and I was telling you that this was going to tighten it up a little bit. And that's kind of, you know, what it did to the yellow, and then it just kind of got this little effect. But I'm loving that effect. I love it. And then look at the depth between the puff, and then because I went to the lightweight yarn treble. Okay, so let me start. I'm just going to start a mandala for those of you who don't know how you want to know how to start a circle. I'm going to stay with this 11 size hook. Let me see if I have any coffee left here, guys. I don't think I do. Just like a sip and it's cold. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I have to make a hot coffee after. Okay, so do your knot here. And this is for those of you scrolling. We're just starting the beginning of a mandala to end this. I see I've been on here an hour. Sorry, guys. But, okay, so you're going to chain 5. You can chain 4, but I do 5. Well, good morning, Omi. Good morning. Do you see her saying hi? She comes to the corner where she went away. Hello, sweetheart. How are you, Omi? She comes to the corner and she calls me and she sings to me. She's the sweetest darn little thing. Mashuki is too. He is. So anyway, 5, okay? Now you're going to slip stitch. Okay? And you have a little circle already. So you're going to chain, go ahead and chain 3. And let's just do something simple going around. Go right smack in the center, okay, of your circle. We're not going to do a lot of these. We're only going to do a few. A double crochet, chain 1, go right smack in the center again, double crochet, chain 1, go right smack in the center again, make your double crochet, chain 1, go right smack in the center again, double crochet, chain 1. And I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to chain 1. Well, I guess I can do one more. Look how pretty that is. Teal is such a pretty color. I'm just curious, how many double crochets did I do? Do you know? Just for the heck of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I feel like I'm just going to do, for the heck of it, 8. I'm not making anything in particular here, but I'm going to connect this. Let me see. Okay, so I'm connecting. There's my little beginning of my circle. Now I want to play around with this a little bit because um, this is going to be a large mandala too. The one we just did was about what, 16-inch diameter. So I want this to be about that, around that, or maybe even a little larger. So what I'm going to do on the next round, because I really, really, really like the teal, and I would like to have the teal, the green in the chakra, again, is compassion, um, and it's your heart area, and it's compassion, understanding, and like I said, we need that so much in this world. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, I will chain 3. No, I'm not going to chain 3. I'm not going to do it. I want to do some trebles. And I'm going to do the trebles not in the full space stitch, not there. And I'm going to go in the back loop, because I want to see what this looks like, in the back loop of the stitch. And no, you know what I'm going to do? Ooh, this will be really pretty. First, I'm going to do the puffs. Let's do the puffs. In the back loop, that's right in, you see the stitches here right at the top? You see them? You're just simply going in between. That's all. So we're going to do a puff. And for those of you who were with us earlier, you know how to do the puffs? Chain 1 or chain 2. And I'm going to skip a stitch. Okay? So I'm going to go in the next, see if I can show you here, this, right in between the stitch, or right in the top stitch, basically is what I'm doing. And I'm only doing a puff with 3 rounds here, 3 times, pulling it up through. And for those of you who missed how to do the puff, okay, so I'm going to chain 2 and I'm going to skip a stitch. You put the yarn around, put it through, pull the yarn up. Put the yarn around your hook, pull yarn up around your hook. Put the yarn around your hook, pull yarn up around your hook. You're doing the same thing 3 times. Okay, so we did this earlier in the video. So I feel like this is going to look like a flower. Let's just see if it is. I just saw a flower in my mind with the puff. That's why I just switched suddenly like that. Excuse me. Oh, that's very pretty. Wait till you see. Okay, we're going to just do this much, and then I'll let you guys go, because this is very pretty, guys. So your puff stitch, you're going to have three sets of the 3 yarns on your hook. And this is how you get them like that. You're going to wrap around, you're pulling up yarn. You're wrapping around yarn again, you're pulling up yarn again. You're wrapping around again, you're pulling it up again. And then you're going to wrap it the last final time to connect them with a slip stitch. And then what I'm doing is chaining 2, skipping a stitch, and I'm doing another set of 3 of these to create my puff stitch. I'm chaining 2, and I'm skipping 1, and I guess this is my final, or close to my final. And I'm thinking this is looking like a flower in the center. We need to go one more. Chain 2. And my last puff here. Whoops, am I in the right place? Nope, I have my stitches here. Oh, this is a lovely, let's see. No, I'm just going to, yeah, I'm going to do my chain and then slip stitch it at the top. I want to just see what this looks like. Yeah. Is that pretty? That's just pretty. I mean, you know, look at that. I mean, yeah, I guess if the puffs were a different color, however, I could do another round of double crochet and then another round of puffs. And that's what I'm going to do. And when I come back, I'll show you what that looks like. So the next round is going to be a double crochet with yellow, and then maybe puffs with the green, and then and maybe I'll start that pattern, but I'll have this just be the center because I already did it, and it's just a lovely. So with that, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful morning. I thank you for being with me. The sun is shining here in Vermont today, and I'm sorry I'm so disheveled. I have days like that when I have actually succeeded in laying out my projects and I know exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm full speed ahead. And everything else is like, whoa, it's like, wait, button your shirt right, Carmella. So anyway, with that, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful morning, and I'll see you in the next one. A love and light.